This demo shows how access to secure locations can be authorized in real time using reusable credentials and without relying on a centralized clearance database. I'm using the Origin Secured digital license app to make the flow visible, but in practice, Origin Secured operates as an overlay and integrates with existing physical access systems. This example focuses on the MOD, but the same model applies to other high-security environments, including multi-tenant data centers, where third-party engineers require tightly controlled access. Authority is not assumed, and it is not retrieved from a central database. It's proven at the moment each decision is made. Traditional access systems rely on centralized stores of clearance and permission data, and this creates risk. Those databases can be misused, shared inappropriately, or in the worst case, tampered with, to allow unauthorized access. GateGuard removes the need to consult a central clearance database at the point of entry. The threshold for access is defined in advance, and a credential either meets that threshold or it does not. So, at the guard kiosk, a QR code is displayed, and I scan using my digital license app to share my credentials. The system evaluates whether my clearance meets the predefined threshold for guard authority. It doesn't query a central server, it doesn't retrieve a permissions list, it evaluates the credential presented against the required threshold. If the clearance requirement is met, the control panel becomes available. And if not, the system won't proceed. Authority is determined locally, in context. When a visitor arrives, they also scan a QR code and share their credential. And the system evaluates the visitor's clearance level, the security level required for the zone, the escort conditions, and the contextual relationship between them. The required threshold has already been defined. The visitor either satisfies that threshold, or they do not. No clearance lists are sent in advance, no emails confirming permissions, and no reliance on a central database at a gate. In highly secure environments, including those operating above top secret, systems could be fully air-gapped. That means clearance management and revocation can't be checked live against an external service, and GateGuard supports this model. When a credential is revoked, that event is recorded to a separate event chain that does not store underlying personal data. That event chain can be hosted privately and, if required, air-gapped as well. One of the access thresholds can require that a credential has checked against the revocation chain within a defined time window, for example within the last 15 minutes. If that freshness condition is met, the credential is considered current, and if it's not, access cannot proceed. This allows even air-gapped environments to maintain revocation integrity, without becoming dependent on a centralized live database. The same model applies to multi-tenant data centers. An engineer may be contracted through several intermediaries, and instead of emailing access lists or updating central permissions table, the facility defines the clearance threshold for a specific rack or zone. The engineer's credential must meet that threshold in context. If it does, access proceeds, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. Administrative configuration is also governed by threshold-based authority. Every access decision, granted or denied, is recorded to a tamper-evident event chain. The chain records the decision event, not the underlying clearance data. The integrity of this event chain is secured using post-quantum cryptography, ensuring that today's access decisions remain verifiable in a post-quantum future. Every action is attributable, every decision is demonstrable, and every action is protected. GateGuard replaces centralized clearance databases and subjective judgment with threshold-based, credential-driven authorization. Access is not granted because a database says so. It's granted because the presented credential meets the defined threshold, in context at the moment it matters. Origin Secured doesn't assume trust. It proves authority.